course, here on JR the Bossman show, we're here with the new head coach of the William and Mary Tribe, Coach Dane Fisher on the Bossman show. Coach Fisher, I know you're happy to have this job up there at William and Mary, man. So, how's life up there in Virginia?
Well, thanks for having me on, JR. It's been really good so far. People here have been phenomenal in terms of just helping with the transition. This is one of those unique places that really blends academic excellence and high-level athletics. So certainly excited to be here and get this thing going forward.
And Coach Fisher, I know you've been with Coach Paulson for many years, as you told me off the air. What about this opportunity at William and Mary to join a school in the CAA and jump in this opportunity? Was the administration? Was it your family? Was it all of the above? Or Coach Paulson tell you it's time for you to try to lead your own program? So what all led you decide to come to William and Mary after all those years of being an assistant?
Well, I think it was a combination of the experience that I've had, most of it being with Coach Paulson at the Division I level. We had a great run of success at Bucknell University, which is a really, really highly selective academic institution. And, they did a great job of emphasizing the athletics, and there's a lot of parallels with William and Mary. So it was a really good fit from that standpoint. And spending the last 4 years at George Mason and being in the Virginia area, I think just added to the fit. So really, in terms of the career trajectory that I'd had and experience, I thought this was just a great opportunity and was certainly thrilled to be the one chosen to lead the program.
Now, Coach Fisher, now for you, since you've been in this role the past few weeks, what's it been like being able to make the decision rather than making a suggestion?
Well, I was making a ton of the decisions for Coach Paulson. He just probably won't tell you that on air. But no, I will say this. One of the best things that he did in terms of my time working with him was he did give me a lot of responsibility, and I certainly was not making a lot of decisions. That was obviously him. But he had me thinking about all those things all the time. So, to now be the one here and having to make the final decision on everything, I do think I've had a lot of the preparation that you need in terms of being put in that position. And, I think anytime you make any decisions, you're just trying to gather the most relevant information you can and process it as well as you can, lean on the people that are important to you and try to make those decisions with the the best mind going forward. So it's been a little bit of an adjustment just because there's a lot of it, but I think the preparation from my time with Coach Paulson really helped with that.
And when it comes to recruiting, Coach Fisher, are you going to try to target high school seniors, JUCO guys, transfers, international guys, grad transfers to kind of help build this program up, or you kind of want to build it from the bottom up, get a lot of high school seniors in there and kind of build that way for stability for years to come?
Yeah, that's a good question because there's so many different ways now that we can recruit kids, and it's almost like you have 3 or 4 different recruiting seasons with the early signing and then the guys that are playing during their senior year. You're obviously recruiting kids during their junior year. And then in the springtime, now it's a whole different game with all the transfers and grad transfers, et cetera. I think the most important thing is that we build this program with good people. And I think that it's usually when you talk about building a program, it's going to be with guys that are there for 4 years and kids you recruit right out of high school. But we don't want to limit ourselves and just say, hey, this is the only way we're going to do it. This is the only way we're going to recruit kids because, the right fit might come from a transfer situation or a grad transfer. It might be a kid that has a great senior year that gets overlooked and is right there for us at the end. So I think the most important thing is that we really do a good job evaluating and finding the right people to fit into our program.
It's still evaluating right now, Coach. You got the job here pretty early, so it's kind of good. You can get out and evaluate your roster, get on the court with the guys, recruit the guys you have now, via the team meetings, and have them come to your office. So how's that been for you, just trying to kind of evaluate what you have on the roster now, and kind of get the guys to stay so they won't leak out the program? Of course, it's inevitable. Sometimes guys will still leave anyway. So how's that process been trying to get to know your guys now?
Yeah, Jared, that's a really good question. The most important thing that I wanted to do when I got here was make sure I spent time with the current student athletes. And I told all of them that I was going to sit down with them individually and meet with them before I ever got on the court with them because I think that it's really important that you have a foundation for how you're going to coach these guys. And to me, it's a personal relationship. So I've been able to meet with the guys each a couple of times at least individually, and some even a couple more times than that. They've been very receptive. They've been great kids to work with. We have been able to get out on the court for a couple of weeks, so it's been really fun to actually get on the court and do some player development stuff. Like I said, I think that they've been really receptive, and when a coaching change is made, it can always be a challenge because they're used to certain things, and the previous staff that was here did a phenomenal job of accumulating really good talent and really good kids. And our staff wants to build on the success that's been here, and we're certainly walking into a very good situation.
And also having 4 hours now, I know it used to be 2 hours. I used to hang out at Georgia State and Georgia Tech and Tennessee State a little bit. I can see kind of clock them 2 hours, but then you have 4 hours now. Kind of do some little bit more work with the guys, get them a little bit better, give them some time to work on their games, because this is the time of year, Coach. You know this. They have to grow this time of year. Spring, summertime, early fall is where they grow their games, mentally, physically, and emotionally, to be ready for that grind from October to March that you hopefully get to go on next year.
Yeah, no question. I think this is one of the most important times of year when you're talking player development. The spring and summer, and even into early in the fall. This is the chance where guys can get better, and I think that to get better, you always have to have that blend of teaching and competing. And we'll talk about that a lot as a staff. We have to teach and watch these guys develop and learn how to expand their game. But then we also have to compete, because it's one thing to be able to expand your game when you're in the gym by yourself and no one's guarding you, and it's another thing to be able to do it when competition is involved and you're trying to win and you got someone that's going against you. So without a doubt, the off season, spring, summer, like I said, early fall, our big focus without a doubt will be player development.
And, Coach, non-conference-wise, Coach, I know the schedule's probably done for you for next year, but going forward, how you going to go about those games? Would you been in Virginia? You can play a lot of great schools around you in Virginia, in the Carolinas. You can go up to a little bit up to East Coast and play some teams. So how you see yourself going about those games? And I want to know also, your school, your school's going to, you all get bought, or can you buy games yourself as well?
Yeah, well, the first thing is, unfortunately, the schedule is not finished, so that's just another thing we got to work on. It's close, but we got to get a couple of more games. But I think in terms of scheduling, I think it's important that number one, we take care of the regional games that we can. I think that any time you can play regional rivals and schools that have some history with you, I think that's always exciting for the fans and something that we want to do. Obviously, there's all the MTEs going on now, and I think that's a neat opportunity for your kids to go play in different places. And if we can ever, have the chance to do that, we certainly will. In terms of the money games, we are a team that will get bought. So, if there's an area of the country that we want to get to, whether it's a large alumni base or if there's a connection with, a former player here is coaching somewhere, something like that, it's always good. I think the other thing with the games where you get bought is when you have guys on your team from out of region, if you can ever use that as an opportunity to get them close to home and play in front of some of their fans when they're playing halfway across the country. I think that's always a neat thing, so we'll certainly take that in consideration as well.
Yeah, I would say talk to Amir, Coach Lanier down at Georgia State, and Greg Gary, Mercer. We got a lot of new coaches around here, man. So get your guys down here, man. Play some of the schools around here, man. Go up I-75 and play a ball.
There you go.
Yes, indeed. And, Coach, the league, the CAA is a league, Coach. I've watched the league, man. It's a great league as far as the competition in the CAA, man. So if you could talk about the Colonial a little bit, what you've seen so far from afar, now being in the league now. This was some tough nights in the conference play coming up here. All the talent you have in coaching-wise in this league here.
Yeah, there's no question about that. And I never have, as you mentioned, coached in this league, but for my time at Rider, my time at Bucknell, and my time at George Mason, we were always playing teams from this league. I'm sure that if I look back every year, we probably played one or two teams from this league, and It's a great league because it's that kind of that last level where you've got 4-year guys and guys that are going to be part of building the program. There's a lot of really good coaches in this league, and for us, it's going to be about obviously understanding the league with a deeper lens than we do now. But you know how it is, JR. Anytime league play hits, it doesn't matter what league you're in. Every night's a tough game, and we know that that's going to be the case going forward with the talent that's here, and like I said, all the good coaches.
And, Coach, I was hanging out this year with Liscombe at the NIT, and I saw all of these rule changes. It was kind of experimenting. We had to expand the lane, expand the three-point line, kind of resetting the fouls at 10 minutes of the half. So I want to ask you see these rules getting enacted anytime soon for us, like maybe 20-second shot clock, maybe the three-point line, the lane, advancing the ball, 4 quarters. Seeing these rules taking effect anytime soon, Coach?
It's a good question, and I don't really know enough to know where that's at in terms of the changes. I do think that changes that have been made over the years, however subtle or however big, have obviously been done with the same intention, which is to make the game as good as it can be. And I think that when you're looking at where they want to go now, I think that trying to keep in mind the amount of stoppages and the replay and being able to use that efficiently, and one of the big things that they're looking at with the rules there, how do you make the game more fan friendly and something that that helps them in terms of wanting to watch and wanting to root for the game. So I think probably the biggest one that's on the table right now is the fouls, and I think that the case to reset it at 10 makes some sense in the fact that if you get some fouls early, it can be a free throw contest the rest of the half. And I think resetting it at 10, it gives you a little bit more flow to the game. But that's for people that are a lot smarter than me to figure all that stuff out.
I hear that, Coach. You weren't as lucky as John Brennan and Casey Alexander. They get to stay in their same houses and move their jobs. But your job, you had to come down there and build something, man. So how's your days been so far, Coach, for us guys coming by the office, talking to boosters, having meetings with alumni and staff, man? So talk to us. What's your typical day be like, Coach? Trying to get everything done as a new coach of the Woodman Mary Tribe.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because I can't tell you what a typical day has been because, every day, my wife is kind of like, so what'd you do today? And I know I was really busy, but I can't always think exactly what I was doing because, like you said, there's just kind of a million different directions that you're pulled. But like I said, the most important things that I've wanted to try to do are just connect with the people here, and whether that's the student athletes or the other coaches or the administration, the alumni, boosters, just the people that are part of this program and that have helped build this to where it is today. That's been the most important part. And a lot of that has been spent, on the phone or in quick face-to-face meetings. And then, like I said, as soon as you think you have your schedule set, you're pulled in 3 or 4 different directions. But it's been great because, like I said, everybody has been very helpful all the way through it.
That's what I got for you, Coach. This course about my man Mike Muscala. Coach, full disclosure, one of my side gigs is working for the Hawks, covering the Hawks. So I got to know Mike real well from that. So if you can share listeners here in the Atlanta area, what's a cool Mike Muscala story that somebody in Atlanta might not know about that you can share with us that's air friendly per se?
Well, I can tell you this. I think all the Mike Muscala stories that I have are probably air friendly. He's as genuine and good a person as I've ever been around. He was a guy that in high school, his junior year of high school, he was 6'7", and he probably weighed 185 pounds and, looked nothing like a guy that was ever going to play in the NBA. And, we got really fortunate with the timing in terms of when we started recruiting him at Bucknell, which was the summer right before his senior year. And he had just hit this growth spurt, and he was probably about 6'9" or 6'10", but you could just see him, still growing and still developing. I remember when, first time I went to see him play, he had floppy hair and braces, so,
Wow.
and to see him transform, physically, the transformation he made was incredible. And the thing I can say is that he is as competitive and hard a worker as we've ever coached, as I've ever been around. And and all the success he's had has been so much fun to see because he's really, really worked for it. And like I said, I really don't have a story I could tell you that would be something that you wouldn't want to share on air. Anyways, he's as genuine as good as they come.
And Coach Fisher, seeing him develop into becoming a stretch 4 or 5, and how he's defending the pick and rolls now, seeing how Coach Budenholzer worked with him, his play development staff, I saw Mike grow from when he got to the Hawks middle of that year for second round pick. They signed him to that 3-year deal, and how he grew into a player, and he's always been easy to deal with, very easy to talk to, man. So I can tell you, Mike Basal's a great guy. I hate the Hawks, and I resign him. But I hate the Philadelphia trading to the Lakers. He should be in the playoffs right now. But it's kind of hard because my other buddy, Mike Scott's on the Sixers. So it's like both of my buddies on the Sixers from the Hawks, man. So it's like, I hate it for Mike, but hopefully I know he'll get signed this summer by something like that. They need a stretch 5 that can shoot and defend the pick and rolls. He has a market somewhere in the NBA. I can guarantee that.
Yeah, I think you're right, and I think when you throw in the quality of person that he is, I know that's a big thing now in every organization, but certainly in pro sports, is that you're looking to add quality people, and I think the development that you talked about speaks volumes to the kind of person he is. I mean, he really developed in his time over that we had with him at Bucknell, but he kind of took that development to a whole nother level when he got to the NBA, and I think he's a guy that has the chance to just have a really long career and a good role on good teams in the league.
Yeah, being a big and can shoot threes, you got a job at least in the NBA somewhere.
That's exactly right.
You got that. Well, Coach Fisher, best of luck to you, man. Let's hope for talking to you real soon. And just call down to Mercer and Georgia State and Kennesaw. Hope you get to play you, man. So we can see you out here real soon, man.
That sounds good. I think you should just maybe tack on a small guarantee to get us down there. We'll be all set.
Hey, I guess I had Coach Lanier, Coach Gary on the show this week, and hope to have Amir soon. So hopefully we can get that done for you.
Hey, there we go. I like it.
Hey, Coach, thanks again for your time, and enjoy the conversation, man.
All right, thanks, JR. I appreciate it.
All right, folks, it's Dane Fisher on the Bossman Show.
My heart skips skipping the beat. You're not close enough, so that space between you and me, let's lose it. The way you're dancing, swaying to the music, girl, that body and how you move it. Every time you cross my mind, girl, I lose it.
Alexa, play the Country Heat playlist. Okay.
I don't think you know what you're doing to me. You got
With Amazon Music, a voice is all you need. Get tens of millions of songs. Download the Amazon Music app today.
All right, folks, on the Boss Man Show. We're joined by a friend of the show. He's now a Belmont Bruin again, their head coach, Casey Alexander. Casey, man, congrats on the new gig, man. How's it going so far?
So far, so good. It's good to be back in familiar territory. It makes the transition a lot easier than it could have been, but still, anytime you take a new job, there's a lot on your plate when you show up. So we're trying to get our feet back under us, and someday soon we'll be basketball coaches again, I hope.
And Casey, the thing about the job is you don't have to leave your house. Same house, man.
That's right. Not at all, yeah. I've said this several times. I mean, it literally, if you turn left out of my driveway, it's 1.4 miles to Lipscomb, my old job, to that garage. If you turn right, it's 1.4 miles to Belmont garage. So the exact same distance from my house to both schools, which is kind of crazy.
Hey, gas efficiency is on point, man.
Yeah. Kids get to stay in their own school. I don't have to be disengaged from my family, so it's really good. Happy about it.
Now, last night, man, we had a great game with the Blazers and Thunder, and that Dame Lillard with that great three. Now, you've seen a shot to the end of the game like that since you've been coaching, and not seen a shot to go down like that. There was that money in that situation in your career so far.
I'll tell you what, it's pretty crazy. That's a guy who a lot of confidence, obviously. I don't think there are any coaches that would have drawn it up that way. You stand out here and play with it and then shoot one from 40 to see if we win or not. But it's a little easier when the game's tied to play with that kind of confidence and shoot that shot. But hats off to him. Big player, big moment, made a big play.
Yes, indeed, and we'll be in town tomorrow for the draft. So how's the city buzzing so far with the draft, man? I'm looking forward to getting there and seeing it tomorrow.
Yeah, it's been crazy. They've been obviously hyping up for a long time, put a lot of money into downtown and, with staging and just roads and everything else. And so it'll be a big event. Nashville is becoming more and more one of those kind of cities like you guys have down there in Atlanta, where events just want to come to this city. So I think they'll do a good job. It'll be a fun time.
Yes, indeed. And being at your alma mater, Casey, that's really feel good. A lot of people you've probably seen that you haven't seen in a long time, but you see them because you're still in town. But being back in familiar surroundings again, leading alma mater, it's feel really good. Come out to Coach Bird, who led a career of so many years of great success at Belmont, and you come behind him, man. I know you're excited about this opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a lot of winning tradition here, and anybody. We talked about Nashville just a second ago. I mean that alone gives us a great chance to recruit. But we've got an unbelievable campus with good facilities and a lot of wins and a lot of things going for us. So it's a pretty elite mid-major job in my opinion. And after spending 20 years here as a player and an assistant coach, it's good to be back, and we'll see if we can keep doing. I'm not as good of a coach as Coach Burr, but that doesn't mean we can't keep having good teams.
Yes, indeed. Hey, you're pretty good yourself, Casey. Don't say yourself short, man. You're pretty good yourself, man. I can give you that.
Well, we just do what we can do, right?
Yep.
Show up, put in a good hard day's work, and I think we can do the job. It remains to be seen how it all turns out. But if we're not any good, it's nobody's fault but my own, because Belmont gives us everything we need to be a good program.
And yeah, speaking of building a program, Casey, you built up. You Stetson. You built that program for your job at Lipscomb. At Lipscomb, you built that up to a great program. NIT this year to NIT finals against Texas, there, man. So I feel like at Belmont, you continue the same thing you do for building a program. You've shown you can build out a big major program to a T. And following Coach Bird's lead, who's assistant for all those years, man, I feel like it's a good spot for you to keep building the Belmont brand, keeping the training going as Belmont has been doing for the past years. They've been D1 at least for sure.
Yeah, and that's obviously the plan. I mean, they wanted things to remain as much the same as they could because the formula here for winning has worked, and so they didn't want to go outside of the Belmont family, so to speak, and where somebody would come in and try it a different way. And so that's that combined with the success we had at Lipscomb made me a decent choice for them. And then for me personally, I mean it's the formula that I've used. Naturally, I'm going to do things a little differently, and I'm not Coach Bird, so there will be some changes. But at the same time, and the big picture will remain the same. We'll keep recruiting the same kind of kids. We'll keep playing the same kind of style. We'll keep doing it the same way, and I have full confidence that that'll continue to mean we have a successful program.
And you hired a quality staff, retaining Coach Ayers, and another assistant you retain as well. You got one guy from Lisbon coming down to you. So I know having a quality staff when you have to take a new job is very important for recruiting, keeping the same flow going. So I think you did a great job of keeping two of those guys and bringing one of your own, keep that continuity going.
Yeah, that was probably the toughest part of the job, of taking the job for me, is just because you got a staff of Belmont guys that had an incredible year and have done great work here, and through no fault of their own, all of a sudden they're in limbo about what's going to happen. And then I've got a Lipscomb staff 2 miles away who did the same thing. And those guys were tremendous for me. We had a great year. They did a great job. So essentially I've got 8 guys all of a sudden for 4 spots. I got to figure out how to make that work. And, not only that, Brian Ayers and I, who's staying on as the associate head coach, and we worked together for 13 years. And so, there's a lot of familiarity, basically friends. We're all kind of the same. So that's been a tough process, but I think ultimately, my job is to just do what I think is best for Belmont, and that's what we did. And so I could not be more pleased with how things turned out.
And familiar with the OVC, because you played Belmont twice. You played Tennessee State pretty often. Other schools out of OVC as well you've played. So for us getting to the conference, you're very familiar with the coaches and the teams that are already in the conference. So it won't be a big adjustment for you already.
No, not at all. I mean, and I'm from Nashville, so I know a lot about all those teams. And you're right. I mean, we played Tennessee Tech several times. We played TSU several times. We played Moorhead. We've played a lot of the teams in that we scrimmaged, UT Martin. So I don't think there'd be much of an adjustment there. Even though I've been in the ASUN and even the TAC, which is what the ASUN was before they changed names for 18 years or something like that. That's actually a change I'm looking forward to. Just, give me a new league, a new format, new everything. And so that'll be good. But I don't think there'll be much of a learning curve as far as getting prepared to play those teams or coach against them or recruit against them for that matter.
And with the roster, since you play them twice, you kind of know what you're dealing with already for the evaluation process. Now you might not know all the details, intricate details that Coach Bird may have knew, but you knew the roster, so it's easy for you to come in and kind of make a development plan for the guys, work with them on the court because you've seen them play twice, and how you can help them from being an opponent of them. Say, hey, if you do this a little bit better, we can be great because I've seen you play. I can know how we kind of work against you that way as well.
Yeah, and that's you're right about that. I mean, I have great familiarity with them. I could walk in. I walked in the door the first day and could say, hey, here's what I think you're best at. Here's what I think your strengths are, your weaknesses are. Here's what I think you can do to improve. So there's a real comfort level there without question. But at the same time, coaching is a whole lot more about relationships than it is anything else, and that's the part where there's still a learning curve. What makes these guys tick, and what's the best way to coach each individual player, and what do they need from me, and that sort of thing. And so that's the part where we still have some room to grow, but it'll all happen pretty naturally, I think.
Especially having these 4 hours that you can work out with the guys, spend time with them, kind of get that team building going before they go out for the summertime and leave out for summer and come back. So I feel like you're getting the job when you got it. You have enough time to kind of sow those seeds to build those bonds now. So as when they come back for the summer, you can really hit the ground running real good there.
Yeah, summer's when we're going to have to do it. When I got here, because of exams, you can't do anything 7 days before exams start, so you have to kind of shut everything down. So we only had 2 or 3 days where we could actually get in the gym. So when they come back for summer school and everything, that's when we'll really, get on the floor and spend that amount of time. But the new rules do allow us to accelerate that. We've actually got a trip planned for August, and that'll help us, transition into the new year a little bit better. So we've got plenty of time, but it will take time at the same time.
That's what I got for the cases of the overseas league. I mean, this year it's just looking at Austin P, Murray State, Jacksonville State is getting better. Also, Tennessee State competed pretty well in the league. Eastern Illinois got better. So, obviously, the league to me from afar is getting better, if you ask me. And I know we add you to the mix, you'll see it up close yourself. But from looking from afar, from beginning to league now, you think the overseas is getting better as a conference from top to bottom? Because I feel like each night, I don't know, obviously, you'll see in competition, whether it be from Belmont on down to UT Martin, whoever, Eastern Kentucky, you're all playing hard every night. Games are real close.
Yeah, and I mean, I just think, conferences are conferences, it's going to be cyclical a little bit, you can pretty much look at any league and say, okay, these 3 or 4 teams are almost always going to be in the top half, and then, and everybody else is kind of going to be come and go a little bit. But it's a quality league, no matter what league you're in, it's hard to win conference games because of the familiarity and everything. And, so we'll just prepare and see if we can, keep being Belmont, putting ourselves in position to play for championships.
Well, Casey, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing you guys this year, seeing you guys work real hard, man. And I must tell you, Casey, you heard my mom was hard. I said, Mom, he had to go. He had to go to Belmont. She was definitely sad to see you leave Lipscomb, man. But I said, hey, he had to do what he had to do, man.
They hired a great coach, and they'll continue to be good.
Yes, indeed. Casey, good to talk to you, man. I hope to see you when I'm in town this week, man.
Sounds good. I look forward to it.
All right, folks. This is Casey Alexander on the Bossman Show.
Till the tears run down from my eyes, Lord, somebody, ooh, somebody, can anybody find me somebody to love?
Alexa, play hits from Queen.
Okay.
Somebody to love. Somebody.
With Amazon Music, a voice is all you need. Get tens of millions of songs. Download the Amazon Music app today.
All right, folks, back in the JR the Boss Man Show with New Presbyterian Blue Hose head coach Quentin Farrell on the Boss Man Show. Coach Farrell, how are things over there, man?
Man, first off, guys, thanks for having me. Things are going really, really well, man. Just up and running. Lots of things going on. Getting on the road, doing some recruiting here this weekend. Looking forward to that. But definitely staying busy.
I hear that, man. And just talk to us about it. How's it feel to be leading your alma mater, man, and putting your stamp on this community and university now with your stamp of approval and everything?
Well, man, it's an unbelievable honor for me to come back and, represent the city of Clinton, the community, the college, and then obviously the basketball program, having played here back from 2003 to 2007. So just special. Looking forward to one day getting this program to the NCAA tournament for the first time in school history.
Yes, indeed. And for you, what do you feel like will be a big adjustment for you, Coach, going from making suggestions now to making the decisions? Because I know when you're an assistant coach, you can make suggestions, but they may not get taken. So now you're the guy where the final buck stops with you now. So how do you feel about that now, being the man in charge?
Well, in my short time already being in this chair, just like you said, as an assistant, you make a ton of suggestions, and now, you're the person that's got to always make the final decision on everything. And it's amazing in this short time that I've been able to see already how many decisions you have to make. So that part for sure will be different, but it's something I'm going to welcome and I'm excited about.
And yes, Coach Farrell, when it comes to recruiting guys to Presbyterian, man, are you going to look for high school seniors, JUCO guys, grad transfer guys who will sit 2 or sit 3, sit 1 and play 2 or 3 for you, or are you going the national route, or can you kind of get all the above and just to build a roster out the right way?
Well, we definitely want to be flexible and kind of take advantage of all those options, but at Presbyterian, it is really known and has a really strong academic reputation. So for the most part, I think we're going to go the high school route and try to build a program that way. But, there'll be times where, a transfer makes sense for us or possibly even a junior college kid. But I think for the most part, we'll definitely be more of a high school-oriented program and try to have 4-year guys and, keep guys in the program, develop them, get them better. And go that route.
Yes, indeed, because especially in the days, as I say, at the mid-major level, you have to find guys that are late bloomers. By the time they're junior, seniors, can be world beaters that can play at a high major level, and they can ride that wave to get you at that automatic tournament berth right there for you guys out of the Big South there.
No, absolutely. I mean, there isn't an exact science to evaluating players, and that could be a middle school coach trying to pick his team, high school coaches obviously at the college level, and even at the professional level. Evaluating can be tricky because, like you said, some guys develop later. And so me and my staff, we just have to be really diligent, be patient, find the guys that fit what we're looking for. And, I'm pretty confident we'll be able to find guys that can help us get the job done and one day, win a Big South championship.
And yes, and I know you get the job kind of early here, so kind of recruiting guys on your roster, keeping those guys in place so they won't transfer out of the program. So how was that being going for you getting to know the guys that you'll be taking over now? And you're now their coach. You know that you didn't recruit the guys, but you're now their coach. You're the guy that's going to look for that point man. So how's it going to build a relationship with those players? Because I know coaching is one thing, but relationship building is a whole other thing about it when college coach. You're going to get those guys to buy into you and your system.
Absolutely, and the number one thing I wanted to do when I, took over the program, I just wanted to really get in here and, in the amount of time that we have, is to build relationships with all these guys as best I can. I wanted to be patient with them, give them opportunities to get to know me. I didn't want to, with it being my alma mater, I didn't want to come in and, start really saying, oh, well, if you don't want to be here, get out and start, so quote unquote kicking guys out of the program. So, I told every single guy, I wanted them to be a part of the program because it's not just a basketball decision when you choose a college. And like I said, Presbyterian is an unbelievable academic institution. So, I wanted to give those guys the opportunity to still, finish their career with a Presbyterian college degree. So I've been really patient with the guys and letting them all know I wanted them to be a part of the program. And it's going well. We've had some few guys talk about, they wanted to remain in Blue Hose and stay committed to the program. So, hopefully here soon, we'll have everybody back in the fold.
Yes, indeed. And also a good time of year, Coach, you get early Coach Farrell, is that you can actually implement part of your system then with the time you lie on the court before the exams start here. So you kind of get a feel for what you're about and also go to evaluating what you have as well.
Yeah, you're correct. We actually got to get on the court last week and do a couple of workouts. And that was more of a skilled individual aspect of working out. Just wanted to kind of let those guys, see what I bring to the table. Hopefully they got some things maybe they hadn't done before. Because like I said, like we talked about earlier, I'm going to be really big on skill development and helping guys improve and get better as players. And obviously a lot of kids are looking for that because, most kids, they got, dreams of being professional players at some level after college. And that's a big part to me of recruiting guys, embracing that, knowing that guys want to be professional players and showing them that you can actually help them get better and achieve that goal. So last week we wanted to spend a lot of time just on, individual workouts and helping guys get better, and then talk about some of the things that we're going to, implement, as a system offensively, as a program.
And having these 4 hours now from 2 hours previously, you used to have 2 hours. We have 4 hours to kind of be on give the guys more time and be on the court with the guys. So I think this summer really help you guys out with the skill development plan, kind of getting guys physically, mentally, and emotionally ready to become great players for you when the fall comes around there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Because in the past with the 2 hours, it's pretty tough because obviously that's short. Each player you get 2 hours. Now with the 4, you can mix in, an hour each, 2 workouts of individual stuff, and then you still got 2 hours left over, and then you can still do a team practice, so gives you a lot of flexibility and option with your practice time, the things you want to do. So definitely looking forward to taking advantage of that this summer with our guys, and like you said, implementing some of our scheme offensively and defensively.
And not coming scheduling wise, Coach, I know if we have children in the Big South, you probably got to play some money games to raise money for the program. But when you get a chance to make a schedule on your own, and not have to, we of course do what you have to do for the university for the money aspect of it. But what kind of games are you looking to play? If you're looking at high major schools, do South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia there, or go a little, come into Georgia, Florida. So how you kind of looking to schedule those games for you guys when you're making the schedule on your own there, outside of those guarantee games?
Yeah, you know what? Scheduling will be really important just because of how I envision the program. We want to be attractive from that standpoint because we want to recruit kids that can go out and have success against the high major programs. When I was an assistant back at Presbyterian, we had the opportunity to beat Wake Forest and Auburn in the same year, and in the following year we beat Cincinnati. That was a top 25 team. So, anybody we schedule, our program is going to have the confidence that we can go in and win the game. So, I think scheduling aggressively, playing teams that, guys get excited about, and, just challenging ourselves. So when we do get in Big South play for the regular season in the conference tournament, we're battle tested, and hopefully it will propel us into winning a Big South championship.
And Coach, I like to always ask new coaches this question: who are some coaches, individuals who really had a great impact on you and your career, lead you to the point you are today, leading your alma mater?
Hey, that's that. If I told you every one, we'd be here for another 30 minutes on that alone. But just really quickly, from my very first coach when I was 9 years old, had an unbelievable impact on me. And then my high school coach had a tremendous impact on me. And these are all guys I still communicate with to this day. My college coach at Presbyterian, Greg Nybert, who was there for 30 years, had an unbelievable impact on me, especially in terms of the college game, and really more so learning how to run a basketball program. He was a guy that was just, extremely prepared, organized, teams were disciplined. So me playing for him and coaching for him, just seeing how he ran the program from top to bottom, gave me a great foundation on understanding what it's like to run a program. And then, I had some unbelievable mentors, in the college game when I got in it at 21. One guy, Steve Smith, who's an assistant at Clemson, done a lot for me in terms of mentoring me. Milan Brown, who's at Pittsburgh now, who's the head coach at Mount St. Mary's and Holy Cross, who I worked with at the College of Charleston. Shaka Smart, who's at Texas. He was a guy I met when I was 21. He's an assistant at Clemson, showed me the ropes. And then my former boss, Earl Grant, man, has been unbelievable in my development, as a young coach at 21. He mentored me when he's an assistant at, Winterton, Wichita State with Greg Marshall. So just had an unbelievable support system of coaches along my way who really helped me grow, probably helped accelerate my learning curve as a young coach, and just very appreciative of all those guys I mentioned.
And also, Coach Farrell, the Big South as a league, you added Hampton now to the league. So, and you also got Upstate as well. So you got a pretty even league now with 4 in Virginia, 4 in Carolina, North Carolina, 4 in South Carolina. So you got a good symmetrical league now. And how you like having Hampton in the Big South now? Because Hampton always brings it with the band and the show with them, man. 'Cause I went to Tennessee State, so I know how that goes going to HBCU. So how you like having Hampton in the Big South now?
Oh, man, Hampton's an unbelievable addition. Bad because, they're really, really good. Buck Joyner's done a tremendous job in building that program. going to NCAA tournaments, man. So they're an unbelievable addition to the league. Just making the league, stronger, giving it, having another presence kind of in Virginia, a program that's well known and has history. Think back to, the NCAA tournament in years past. So, just an unbelievable addition to the league. And, the Big South is a really good league, and it's continuing to get better, and it's a great league to watch. So, I know the league has a deal with ESPN, so, you can catch the games on ESPN Plus and things like that. So, the league's in a really good place.
And, Coach, I covered NIT this year with the rule changes of expanding the lane, the three-point line, also the setting the 5 fouls. So, are you looking forward to changes coming soon where they maybe go to quarters, maybe with the 5-team fouls, or, shot clock maybe down 24 seconds, expanding the three-point line, maybe advancing the ball in 2 minutes on us to go in the second half. So, how are you feeling about those rule changes that may be coming down the road to make the game better for fans to watch?
Obviously, you watch NBA, you watch international basketball, and, some of those rules are in those leagues that, we're thinking about adopting in the college game. And I think, obviously whenever there's change, everybody has to adjust. But I think everybody, whether we have the changes or not, I think everybody will be ready for them and embrace them and, do the best job they can of, putting their teams in position, in any of those scenarios to be successful as possible.
And, Coach, last one I got for you. I know you become a new head coach, a lot of things going, you pull different directions. So, what is your typical day been like? How many hours you at the office, man? Like, 12 hours there at the office, then you calling recruits, calling boosters, calling alumni. How's it been, man?
Hey, all of the above. All of the above. My days have been, they've been mixed with a little bit of everything, to be honest with you. So just, getting in office pretty early in the morning, whether it's going on campus, dealing with HR, hiring your staff, individual meetings with some of the players, getting to know them, making phone calls to recruits, calling, different high school coaches, AAU coaches, like you said, then, planning workouts and doing some workouts on the court, meeting with people on campus, that are going to be, resources for myself in the program. So spending time with some of those people, getting to know them and, what they're going to bring to the table to help our program. So all of the above is going on every day. I'm very excited about it, and just really looking forward, to really getting started. Our guys, they're finishing up this week. It's the last week of class. Finals start next week, and they'll be taking off for summer break. So, just looking forward to what's next, to the future, man, and just building a great program.
Well, Coach Farrell's been ready to have you on the show, man. If you're in town recruiting in Atlanta, man, feel free to let every come out studio. I'll pass you my number, man, so you can contact with me. But best of luck to you. I love seeing the African-American coaches get a chance, man. I hope you do a great job down there and build lineage down there with staff of your tree, man.
Well, I really appreciate you having me on today, man. It means a lot, and I definitely look forward to talking to you again soon.
All right, folks, it's Quentin Farrell on the Bossman Show, Pepsi Tree and Blue Hole's head coach.
It's maybe the night that my dreams might let me know all the stars are closer, all the stars are closer.
Tell me what you gonna do to me. Confrontation ain't nothing new to me. You could bring a bullet, bring a sword, bring a morgue, but you can't bring the truth to me.
Alexa, play Kendrick Lamar and SZA.
Okay.
Maybe the night that my dreams might let me know all the stars are closer.
With Amazon Music, a voice is all you need. Get tens of millions of songs. Download the Amazon Music app today.
All right, folks, we're on the Gerald the Bossman Show. Talk to the new coach, Utah Valley Wolverines, one of my favorite guys in the NBA because I played like him, played hard, defended as hard as I could. Coach Mark Madsen. Coach, how you doing, man?
JR, doing great. Thanks for having me on the show. Great to be talking to you.
Yes, indeed. Now, Coach, how's it feel, man, for you to be leading the Utah Valley program after Coach Pope laid a great foundation for those guys, man? You come in, taking over here, the reins here, man. So how's it feel to have your own gig as the head coach to lead this great university to prominence once more?
Well, number one, gratitude. I'm grateful for, number one, the players in our program. We have some tremendous student athletes from all over the country. From the West, from the East, from the South, a very diverse group. I'm grateful for the job that the previous head coach Mark Pope and his staff have done, and it's an honor to try to continue the legacy here. And so more than anything, I'm excited, I'm grateful, and I'm just ready to get to work in terms of continuing the tradition here.
Yes, indeed, Coach. Now, what I love about Utah is it's like you have some great basketball at that state with Larry Krzyzewski at Utah itself. You got Coach Craig Smith up there at Utah State. Utah Valley was doing well. Randy Ray at Weber is doing well. And BYU has just hired now Coach Pope there. So, man, the state of Utah, man, to me, a lot of great basketball, a lot of great coaching, a lot of great talent that can come in that state and just play really, really well and show the whole country about Utah basketball is very good and it's very sound.
Well, what you're saying is absolutely right. I was watching the playoff game last night, and I'm sure a lot of us have enjoyed that battle between Russell Westbrook and Damian Lillard. Well, Damian Lillard played his college basketball at Weber State. Damian Lillard was from, obviously, Oakland, California. I'm from a small town close to there, but Damian Lillard went from Oakland straight to Utah, and he furthered his career in state and basically dominated the league, developed the skills that he needed to now go to be at the professional level as an all-star. And so, I'm sending out the message from the West Coast to the East Coast to the South that this is a great basketball program, and we're looking for players. And I know there's a lot of smart players in Atlanta. There's a lot of tough players in Atlanta. And there's a lot of athletes in Atlanta. And we want guys that compete. And that's the bottom line. And this is a great place to do it.
Yes, indeed, because out there in Utah Valley, you can actually just work on your game, grow yourself as a student athlete and as a man, as a person. And with you being the head coach who's played the NBA, who's been through those rigors where they want to go, you are a perfect example to show them what hard work dedication can get you in your career as a player and also now as a coach as well.
Well, player development is something that Magic Johnson used to always say, add one new skill every summer. In being with the Lakers for the last 6 years, I've worked with a lot of players, from Steve Nash to Nick Young. Most recently, we had Lonzo Ball on the team, Brandon Ingram. And these are players that have grown tremendously since they've come into the league with their own work ethic. And as a staff, we try to enhance and grow people's skill set. And so that's one aspect that we really want to emphasize here and differentiate ourselves in terms of skill development to give guys the tools that they need to take their game to the next level. Maybe for some players, the next level is the G League. Maybe for other players, it's a significant contract overseas. And finally, some players like the Damian Lillards of the world, like the Ronnie Prices of the world, are going to go to the NBA and have a nice 10-year career.
Yes, indeed. And Coach, I feel like this is the time of year. This spring session, summer, early fall, it's where guys get in there, in the lab, like you said, add something new, whether it's going left, whether it's a step back, whether it's working on you come off a curl cut or a V cut, learning how to get better at the game, learning, watching more film of the game. And I wish more young men would take the stance of getting in that, understanding this more than the coach tells you. You have to work on your own. You have to get better when it's dark, nobody's around. You always be in that lab trying to find that 1% to get better each day so you can maximize your game.
Well, you're hitting on something important. And on staff with the Lakers this last year, we had Brian Shaw. Brian Shaw had a tremendous NBA career as a point guard, played with Shaq in Orlando, followed him to L.A., has been a head coach in the NBA. And Brian is from Oakland. And Brian talks about, and I'm going to go back to Damian, in the sense of Damian in his summer workouts, he goes hard almost every single day. And in the NBA right now, a lot of players like to work out together from different teams. One thing Damian never did is he never wants to lose his competitive edge, so he works out by himself to keep his competitive edge. And I think another player in the league that does that is Giannis, obviously from Greece, up in Milwaukee. These are players, they work out on their own. They don't become too buddy-buddy with the competition. And when they go out on the court, in the right way, nothing dirty, nothing over the top, but they go out there to destroy the competition, and it shows.
You got that right. And, Coach, one thing I noticed, Coach Madsen, is this, being around Atlanta Hawks, is Coach Budenholzer and Coach Pierce. They value player development. And I seen this year with the Hawks, how the Hawks started off 6-23. But after that rough start, the guys got better those last games of the season. You can see right in the year how the young men had gelled and become a team. And you knew that you had Trey Young and John Collins as cornerstones for the future here with the Hawks. So you're so right about player development and skill development and how watching Coach Hunt, Coach Foster, and those guys working with them guys pre-game on practice days to get them guys better, to be better Hawks, better NBA players, and also better young men.
Well, Trae Young is a perfect example. He came into the league right away this year. Had some success right away, but there was a learning curve. And he had some ups and downs early on. But by the end of the year, with that player development, with that coaching staff, and really with the work ethic that he himself, Trae Young, has, he's blossoming into one of the top players, into one of the top young players in the league. And that was a great pickup for the Atlanta Hawks. It's a pickup that I think is going to pay dividends going forward into the future.
You got there right. It's exciting sound to your coach, Madsen. I'm telling you, man, I was sad 2 weeks ago when the season was over because I feel like these guys they're going to do so much more better together, man. So when they played Indiana last 2 weeks ago, man, it was like, man, it's really going to be over. But it was a great ride. It started off rocky, but it ended on a high one way or another.
Right. Yeah. Like I said, it doesn't matter how it starts. It's only how it finishes.
You got that right, Coach. And what I want to ask you about Utah Valley is this, Coach. You guys can really recruit 5 different ways out there. Will it be the high school seniors? Will it be the JUCO route, the grad transfer route, the transfer route, and internationally? Because, like I said, guys can come there and work on their game, get a great education, and get a good from a coach who played in the NBA, who played at the highest level, and as a coach at the highest level can help them reach the maximum potential of their games, man.
Well, it's Utah Valley University. First of all, it's the largest university in the state of Utah by enrollment. Okay, it's the fastest growing university in the state of Utah in terms of speed of growth. It's a campus that's growing every day in terms of diversity, and that's something that we value tremendously here. It's also a place where I played with a guy in Minnesota who had a couple of incidents in the past, growing incidents, and like we all have, like every one of us experiences. And the head coach at the time, Flip Saunders, he said, if it wasn't for second chances, a lot of us would be out of a job, and he was including himself. And so the other thing about Utah Valley is, sometimes a student athlete or a player goes to an institution and it just doesn't work out, whether it's not the right fit from a coaching perspective, whether there's an off-the-court incident. But this is also a place where this is a second chance university for great players where maybe they hit a pothole. Maybe it was unexpected. Maybe it wasn't the best decision a student athlete made, or maybe they were impacted by someone else's decision. But this is a place where we look at each individual as a person, and we embrace all of those people, and I include myself, where sometimes you need a second chance.
You got that right, Coach, and you said, man, we all make mistakes, and we all need somebody to give us a break, and I feel like at the level that you guys coach, the major level, is perfect for guys who make mistakes at a high major level to come and get another opportunity, because that's so important. We want to develop young men and want these young men to become great husbands and businessmen and great fathers,
yes.
and that's where they need somebody who's willing to love on them and help them see through their issues and become better men because of the issue that they had.
Well, I've had coaches that have helped me in that way personally. I'll never forget. I was coaching in college, and we had a supporter come in, and he talked about he had hit potholes in life, and he told the group he was a really successful doctor, I think, and he said in life you're going to hit potholes, and he said 10 years ago I had a job, and currently he said I'm working on at the Stem Cell Institute at Stanford. And he said, just 10 years ago, this field of work that I'm working in now, stem cell research, didn't even exist. And so to get your education, to get that preparation is imperative, because you have to be prepared to possibly work in a field, whether it's professional sports or science or math or anything, that may not even exist this year. It may be newly created 10 years from now. But that's the power of education.
Got that right, Coach, and that's the main thing about it, is getting these education for these young men, man. And I want to ask you, Coach, I know you played for Coach Phil Jackson. You played for Flip Saunders. What do those guys really mean to you for us growing you as a coach and developing you as a person as well to help you as you take over this program, help young men going forward? Because I love watching Coach Saunders on TV, love hearing him when he's commentary as well. Phil Jackson seemed to me to be a great guy to teach you about all kind of different areas of life, just not basketball. So what do those guys really mean to you in developing you as a person that you are today?
Well, the one thing that I really felt from each coach, Phil Jackson and Flip Saunders, is the love and the support that I felt from them. Now, they went at me sometimes, and sometimes I needed that. I needed them to go after me. But I always knew that they cared about me as a person and they wanted to help. I'll never forget Phil Jackson. We were in the locker room, and, Shaq's on one side of the locker room, Kobe's also in the locker room, and the rest of us were there. And Phil looked around and he said, "Men, each and every one of you in this room has unique talents and abilities that can help the team win." And that meant a lot to me personally because I felt empowered. Because sometimes when you were playing with some of the greatest players of our generation, Shaq and Kobe, sometimes you felt like just a role player or just another piece in the puzzle. But when he said we all had skills and abilities and talents, that empowered me to go out there and be more aggressive on the court. Because, hey, yeah, Shaq and Kobe are great and they're unbelievable, but they need the rest of the guys to be aggressive too and to make plays. And so that's one takeaway for Phil. And then for Flip, I mean, I can't say enough about Flip. Flip was, when you had an injury, he was the first one calling you. When you had a camp over the summer, he was walking in the front door to help out. Just a great human being, a great coach, and I miss him dearly.
Yes, indeed. He was definitely a great coach, man. A great player. I can just tell from I talk to guys about Flip Saunders how they revere him very, very much and what they talk about him as a person. And for you, Coach, the college game is a little bit different from the NBA game. Me and you both know that. But I feel like that they could implement some NBA principles like the 20-per-second shot clock, the three-point line, the embracing quarters, the team fouls minute 5, and advancing the ball in the last minutes of the game, because I feel like that'll make the college game much more exciting to add some of those NBA principles, get closer to FIBA and the NBA, how it's played beyond the college game there.
Well, that's one thing when we first started practicing last week, I told the guys, I said, hey, if you have NBA range, go ahead and space out. Space out, because by you spacing out, it's going to create more space for your teammate to attack the rim. And so the creation of space on the court is something that's very important to me. Every player has most players on our team right now, and the type of players I want to recruit have the ability to put the ball down and attack the rim. If they get cut off going one way, they got the spin back. If they get switched onto, they can back it out and attack a big man. And so there's all types of different ways I want our guys to attack. But ultimately, the game is definitely different, like you're pointing out. But there's similarities as well. And I want to focus on teaching principles that will translate at the college level.
Yes, that's very important. And last one I got for you, Coach, is this. I remember that epic clip of you saying, let the dogs out to the parade, Coach. What triggered you to do that, man? I really enjoyed it, but what triggered you to do that? Because that's one of my favorite clips of yours. I play it on the show sometime. You're a clip of doing that sometime every now and again. When something great happens.
Well, the funny thing about it, JR, is this. When we won the championship, we had the parade in downtown LA. I think there was hundreds of thousands of supporters and fans that came out. You could just feel the energy in the street, and it culminated with us going to the Staples Center. And Shaq, he had a new rap song, and so he ran down on stage. He started singing, and then I see J.R. Ryder going down to the dance floor to start dancing. I see Kobe going down. I see Samaki Walker, and I said to myself, you know what? I got rhythm too. I'm going down there too. But it turns out I didn't have rhythm like I thought I had, J.R.
Hey, man, Coach, I love that clip, man. I love it to death. It's classic, man, because that song, I mean, that song, I think about something of you when I think that song now. That's Coach, man, that's Mark Madsen. Let the dogs out. That's what I think of like that song now, man. So you're an icon for that, if anything. You're an icon for that for life, man.
Love it, man. Love it.
Well, Coach, look, I hope that my people in Atlanta here really hear you out, man. I hope you got some players down here because, I mean, it's a lot of great talent, as you said, man. And I look forward to following your program, Coach. Look forward to talking to you real soon. I really enjoyed the conversation with you, Coach. And wish you best of luck out there in Utah Valley, man.
Hey, JR, thanks so much. Look forward to talking to you soon. Hopefully I'll make it down to Atlanta shortly.
Yes, indeed. Have a great day, man. Talk to you real soon now.
You too. Take care. Bye.
All right, that's Mark Madsen on the Bossman Show.